Lisa here with Nashville on the Market, and today we are going to talk about all things property management.
We just started our property management company or division this year, Nashville on the Market Real Estate, and we're so excited to share some of the tips we've learned along the way for all you potential Nashville landlords out there. Number one,
screen your tenants. Don't just throw a friend or family member in there, and don't just take somebody's word for what they tell you. There are plenty of resources online that are easy to use. You just create an account, you send the potential tenant a link, and they will pay for a background check, credit check, eviction check, and just application so you have their personal information. And then some sites will even verify employment and income for you. So it's very easy.
Right. And if this is your business, this is an asset you own, treat it as such, and just go through the steps, be a professional landlord. Okay, next we're going to talk about maintenance and repairs. This is a really big one and one you want to keep on top of. I thought it'd be fun to talk about maybe our last two maintenance requests we had.
One was the dishwasher pod was not dissolving, and luckily we were able to fix that. The dishwasher pod usually goes in the bottom of the dishwasher.
She's looking at my dishwasher right now. That's why she keeps looking over there.
The dispenser was made for the powder and the liquid. Sometimes it'll pop open and the pod will come out and dissolve, but typically you just want to put it in the bottom of your dishwasher.
I did not know this, by the way. So, learn something new.
The other was we had a property struck by lightning, and it took out all the electrical. It took out the fireplace, which there's always a positive. The owner of the property did not want tenants using the fireplace anyway. So now that it has been struck, they're going to cover the fireplace up anyways. Right. But the owner had really good insurance.
And everyone was safe.
Everybody's safe. Insurance adjuster steps in once that happened. So we were kind of just a sounding board for what was going on. But we were able to counsel them on what happens when the tenant moves out and how to prorate rent and just that process.
Yeah. So really maintenance and repairs, you just need a good team. You need a handyman, a plumber, an electrician. Just have your vendors ready to go and create relationships with them so they make you a priority.
Something else you'll want to do when your tenant moves in is have a communication process of if something happens at the property, how they're going to communicate to you, and a priority, kind of identify a priority list. So if the water is flooding the floor, that would be an emergency, and you'll be expected to handle that situation immediately. Whereas if the dishwasher pod isn't dissolving, you have a couple days to work that out. So just prioritize, set up a communication line, and have everybody's expectations, agreed upon from the beginning.
Such a good point. Okay. Third one, and I think this might be the most important of all, is know the legal landscape. You need to know, first of all, the laws in Tennessee. What are the tenants' rights? What are your rights? Look those up, know them forward and backwards. You also need to have a great lease in place.
Yeah, there are a lot of leases online, but if this is your kind of first go around at this, talk to an attorney. Choose a really good solid lease and then read it. Know what is expected of you, know what is expected of your tenant. Make sure you're on the same page with that. And anything that's not in the lease that you feel needs to be in the lease, add it to the lease, talk to the tenant about it, and just cover all your bases. Because when things start going wrong or there's hiccups in anything, you need to know what your rights are, and the tenant needs to know what their rights are. And it's going to save you a lot of money and a lot of time in court if you set everybody's expectations on the front end.
Right. You need to know the eviction process. One thing also to know is you need to know your local ordinances, your HOA rules. For example, some HOAs don't allow rentals, or they only allow rentals over a year. Some parts of town don't allow short-term rentals. You need to know exactly what you're doing, like what's allowed. Just start there. That should be like number one phone call, HOA, city, county, and figure that out.
And especially with your HOA, that's a really good point. You're going to want to know everything about your HOA in terms of how you can rent your property, but also guidelines so that you can share that with your tenant so they are not violating any of the HOA rules, because they're not going to know them. They haven't lived in this property before.
Right. And you don't want any excuses down the road. Well, you didn't tell me I couldn't park my car in the, the grass.
We have a lot of these resources, so if you ever need any too, reach out to us.
Yeah, we'd love, and if you don't want to do this yourself, like hire a professional property management team. We'd love to help you. If you want to do it on your own and you have questions, leave them below. We'd love to do more follow-up videos about this.
Yeah,
we love talking real estate.
There's a lot of moving pieces, but once you get everything in place, it's really a seamless process. And there are just so many sites and platforms that are set up to make renting a property super easy. It can be totally hands off. So it's just knowing where your resources are.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and like to help us out.